In the Amboseli Basin of Kenya, on a morning when the sun hadn't yet decided whether to rise, a mother made the hardest decision a living creature can make. She walked away from her calf, not because she wanted to, but because staying would have killed them both. His name, given later by researchers who almost didn't bother recording him, was Kaibo. The leaving elephant herds don't just move, they communicate. Through rumbles below human hearing, through the ground beneath their feet. When this herd moved at dawn, every single member knew something was wrong. Amara had been in labor for 19 hours. Longer than normal, much longer. Predators track the sounds of birth, and a herd that lingers becomes a target. For 2 hours, the herd tried to help. Matriarch females, the oldest, wisest members, nudged him with their feet, tried to lift him gently. His aunts stayed close, ears fanned wide, scanning the tree line for lions. But Kaibo wouldn't stand. When the lion appeared on the ridge at 6:47 a.m., the matriarch made her call, a deep, rolling sound that researchers later described as, and I want you to hear this, a sound of grief. One by one, they left. Amara was the last to go. She touched his face one final time with her trunk. A gesture so human, the research team watching from their vehicle a kilometer away went completely silent. Kibo was 4 hours old. He weighed 91 kilograms. He could not stand. He could not run. The one who stayed. Here's something most people don't realize about elephants. Even a newborn, even one that cannot stand, is not entirely defenseless. That sound Kibo made travels at low frequency for up to 9 kilometers. He wasn't crying. He was broadcasting. The lion heard it too. And then, the lion stopped. A single female elephant emerged from a gully 300 meters away. She hadn't left with the herd. Her name, researchers would later discover, was Nyla, Amara's older sister. Nyla had broken from the herd silently, doubling back through a dry riverbed. No one on the research team saw her go. The herd didn't stop her. Perhaps they knew. She placed herself between Kaibo and the lion, massive, ears wide, standing completely still. She weighed 3,400 kilograms. She didn't charge. She didn't make a sound. She simply stood. The lion looked at her for 1 minute and 40 seconds. The research team timed it, then walked away. But Nyla's problems were just beginning, because Kibo still couldn't stand. And without standing, he couldn't feed. And without feeding, the savanna would finish what the lion started. She had no milk to give him. She wasn't his mother. She couldn't carry him. All she could do was stay. For the next 7 hours in 38-degree heat, Nyla used her own body as shade. She rotated slowly, patiently, following the angle of the sun, keeping her shadow over Kaibo like a sundial in reverse. The research team, watching from a distance, stopped taking notes. One of them, Dr. Cynthia Moss, who has spent 50 years studying Amboseli elephants, would later write in her field journal just 4 words. She knew what mattered. The impossible attempt. By dusk, something had changed in Kibo. He hadn't fed, he hadn't stood, but something in him had decided. Elephant calves are born knowing they need to stand. It's written into them from the first breath. Because on the African savanna, the calves that waited to figure it out didn't survive. He tried 11 times in 40 minutes. The research team counted. 11 times he pushed his legs against the ground. Nyla watched every single one. She didn't panic. She didn't intervene unnecessarily. She just watched. On the 12th attempt, his legs shook. He pushed. He wobbled. He stood. He stood for 4 seconds, then collapsed again. But 4 seconds was enough. His legs now knew what standing felt like. His muscles had fired for the first time. And Nyla, who had watched all 11 failures without moving, walked directly to him, touched his face with her trunk, and made a sound researchers had never recorded from a non-mother elephant to a calf. This is the part of the story nobody talks about. Not the dramatic moments, the quiet ones. The night that followed was 9 hours long. 9 hours of darkness on the open savanna, where the sounds never fully stop. Hyenas calling somewhere to the east, the rustle of something moving through dry grass, the occasional distant roar that could be a kilometer away or could be 4. Nyla didn't sleep. Elephants can sleep standing, in short intervals, but she didn't. The research team's monitoring data showed she remained alert and oriented outward for the entire 9 hours. At 2 a.m., 3 hyenas approached from the north. They got within 60 meters. Nyla didn't charge. She didn't trumpet. She took 3 slow, deliberate steps toward them and stopped. They left. There is a kind of authority that doesn't need to be loud. Nyla had it completely. By the time the sky began to lighten at around 4:30 a.m., Kibo had attempted to nurse from Nyla twice. Confused, instinctive, desperate. She couldn't give him what he needed, but she never pushed him away harshly. She just waited for him to understand. Act 5. The return. What happened at dawn, the research team would debate for years. The herd came back, not partially, not a few stragglers, all 23 elephants moving in formation back to the exact location they had left from 18 hours earlier. Analysis of their GPS tracking data showed something that still confuses researchers. They moved with purpose, covering 14 kilometers in a wide arc before turning back, almost as if they were checking that the territory was clear before committing to the return. The matriarch reached Kibo first. Her trunk explored him carefully, his face, his back, his small, uncertain trunk. Then she made a sound, low and long, and the rest of the herd responded. And then Amara came forward. She emerged from the group slowly. She approached without rushing. Kibo lifted his trunk toward her and made a sound so small, so quiet. Amara stopped walking when she was 1 meter from her son. She made no sound. The rest of the herd went still. Then Kibo took 3 shaky steps forward and pressed his face against his mother. He fed for the first time at 5:23 a.m., 25 hours after his birth. Dr. Moss wrote in her journal that morning, and I'm going to read this to you exactly as she wrote it. In 50 years, I have never seen a herd return for a calf they left behind. I don't know what to call what I witnessed. Science doesn't have a word for it yet. What science says and what it doesn't. Here's where I want to be honest with you, because I think you deserve more than just the emotional story. You deserve the full picture. Elephant brains have a proportionally larger limbic system than almost any land mammal, the region associated with emotion, memory, and social bonding. When researchers study the neural pathways of elephant decision-making, they find structures that, in humans, we associate with empathy, with grief, with long-term relational thinking. We also now believe Nyla's presence played a significant role in the herd's return. Those deep rumbles below the range of human hearing may have carried information across those 14 kilometers. She may have been narrating the entire night to the herd, telling them Kibo was alive, telling them he was standing. We don't know. And this is the honest answer from the people who have studied these animals their entire careers. We can track their movements, we can record their sounds, we can map their brains. But the gap between what we can measure and what we suspect is happening is enormous. What we cannot explain is the intention behind the return. Did they come back because they heard Kibo? Because Nyla called them? We don't know. And here's what I find remarkable about that. Not frustrating, remarkable. After centuries of humans assuming animals operate purely on instinct and biological programming, the animals keep showing us something more complicated. Kibo is 7 years old now. He moves with the herd, healthy and loud. Researchers say he's one of the most vocal calves they've ever tracked, as if making up for those 25 silent hours at the beginning of his life. Nyla remains close to Amara. They are rarely more than 30 meters apart. The lion that watched from the ridge that morning was found dead 6 weeks later, killed in a territorial dispute with another male. He never made his move. There's a word used in elephant research, used quietly, almost apologetically, the way scientists say words they haven't fully proven yet. The word is loyalty. Not as a metaphor, as a behavior, observed, documented, witnessed on that dusty morning in Amboseli by a team of researchers who stopped taking notes and just watched. If this story stayed with you, if you found yourself holding your breath somewhere in the middle of it, I'd ask you to consider why, because I don't think it's just about elephants. I think it's about what it looks like when someone refuses to leave, what it looks like when a family comes back. We'll see you for the next one.